flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everyone had a chance to read the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. First and second. All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Thank you. Moving on to resolution. First one up is resolution denying administrative correction. Real property located at 1273 County Route 50, Town of Wells.
Yeah, you want me to speak on this?
Yeah.
So this one, they had already been denied for a school tax refund for the same issue. They didn't apply for this exemption by March 1st, which is the date they had to apply for it by. They had a partial application, but it wasn't completely finished, so it wasn't considered filed. That was what the assessor's determination was. She had been calling the town supervisor, the assessor, and so I recommend denial of this one for that reason.
Denied for this year.
Denied for this year, she can apply for next year. I think she already has.
Okay.
So.
Right.
I read it over. It's just, I can see where, somebody can forget to make out an application, put a figure in for the application. I don't see that this is going to break us or break, to allow this. Second one, this one I won't be voting in favor of that floor, but I'm just saying that I just think it's kind of ludicrous for us to say no to, a senior that's, I don't like it. Not at all. We're giving people tax breaks all over the place, multi-million-dollar companies, but we don't want to give a little bit of a tax break to it. And I can understand. You're just following the rules. And I got no problem with you following this. Okay, but it's up to us as the legislature to say yes or no. That's what I got a problem with. Thank you.
Correct me if I'm wrong, all she was asked to do is prove her finances, what she's making in order to qualify. That's how it was understood. Twice it was asked for, twice she felt she didn't call. It wasn't one time she felt, twice she felt how much she makes. That was the issue on it.
Yep.
So that was the reason for that.
That was my understanding from it too.
Okay.
Yep.
You know how, if we open up for this, then we open up for everybody.
I was just gonna say, we need to remain consistent. We did this for every single person who failed on their end to provide the application, and you fail in the rest of it.
Just got
And this application was started, I believe, in November.
This one she filed it on December 31st.
So,
But she had
there was plenty of
already-
time, she knew what to do.
She had already been denied for the school, so she knew she wasn't eligible, but she filed this anyway.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Very opposed. Thank you. Resolution 2, resolution denying administrative correction, tax refund credit pursuant to New York State real property tax law 554, 556, having real property located at 671 Dutch Creek Road, Thomas Drive.
So on this one, so what my investigation entails is looking into real property tax law to see if there's a correctable error that section of law can help with for this situation. She may or may not have a case for the water usage thing with Scriba, but that's between her and Scriba. For this administrative correction process, there's no error that occurred that can be corrected. It's an unpaid water bill. It was lawfully re-levied to the taxes, the same as any other unpaid water bill. If she, has a problem with the amount of it, again, between her and Scriba, but nothing that we're involved in my opinion.
Well, just was discussed with us, so I had legislators, well, the town of Scriven knows there's an issue with this meter. And it's been $100, $100, $100, and all of a sudden it's a $4,000, nothing changed in her end, her part. So that was there's a question on that one, as far as, they said, as far as the town, and I may be misinformed, but I thought the town of Scriven themselves knew there was an issue with that meter.
Yeah, I think I included with this, the memo text from the engineer that inspected it. And essentially what they came to the conclusion was that water ran through the meter. They read it with a handheld meter at site and water went through it. Whether it's because of a leak or something else, I can't say. I'm not an expert on it, but water went through, a bill was charged, the bill was unpaid. So.
So, question, is she still going to be pursuing this with Town of Scriven?
I believe she should. I mean, but as far as correcting the tax bill goes, that's a separate issue.
That's what we're doing. Part of it, big problem with the meter, and something like that, so.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's another avenue for her to take to challenge this, but this process isn't it.
Was this something we need to move on right now, or did she get that straightened out before first?
She's been dealing with them since last June, I believe, so this one we should move on just because I'm sure the bill is unpaid and will be returned to the county. And just as a reminder, the only reason these go before all of you is because that's what the law says. If I recommend denial, it has to be, you're the checks and balances to me in this situation.
The other missing piece of this though is that they did go the extra mile and test a pool in the pond, which had fluoride in it. So it looks as though the water was used and put into the pool and pond. Yes, so anyway, I think move forward and trust the,
That's what
I've done all the research.
that's what
Then she can take it to the court. Yeah.
So,
Second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
hey,
Any opposed? Resolution 3, resolution establishing a revenue and expense line on the funding line. 150, the amount of $25,000.
well, this is a, we know this is the 250th anniversary of the Revolution. The counties are planning, largely future county clerks, offices, commemorations. So this would simply set up an account where we can begin planning what we're doing. I think, Terry, you've got anything to say?
No, just similar to like what we did with the bicentennial, we need some funds to get it moving. This does have a revenue line that's attached with it because there is supposedly going to be some funding from the state and federal governments to help us organize some of the events that we're planning. And one thing, just so everybody is aware, we really want to focus on education, grade school education for this. Students in our county understand what role federal economy play in forming our country.
Aye. Resolution 4, resolution deleting position as director of strategic initiatives, voting office, strategic position for the Department of Community Development, Planning and Tourism.
We'll make a motion for Scott.
So,
Second, discussion, Joe speaking.
Yeah, I mean, my understanding is that the direction that the county is headed, we are looking forward to work with Kyle quite closely throughout the process as well. And so I think it's more budgetarily and administratively.
Second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Five, resolution authorizing execution of an amendment of container agreement, Anthony Jolinek, Tony Charnock, Blackboard investigation, and 2870.
One of the settlements in the AFFF Forever Chemical litigation is structured over 10 years, and the retainer agreement doesn't contemplate structured settlements. It provides it's no cost to the county, but they take their fee out of the verdict or settlement. This would allow us to amend it in such a case where the settlement or resolution is structured that they are paid up front, the law firm, and then the county would be paid after their costs and expenses are reimbursed with their fee. So.
Any other discussion? Favor? Nay. Six, resolution requesting New York State Senate, New York State Assembly, and Denver County allow in relation to the opportunity to California. New York State is abolished the elected office of coroner, county supervisor.
In the 1920s, the office of coroner was abolished in Oswego County, and the DA became the coroner. In the 50s, when the amendments to the county law were made, Oswego was not included in those counties listed where the DA is coroner. We're operating under this 100-year-old law. So in order for us to establish the office of coroner, again, we need state legislative approval.
The reason why?
I believe the DA, who's not here, has a lot on his plate outside of coroner duties, as well as there's an AG opinion saying that these are separate functions, and the DA investigators should not be involved in coroner type duties. The coroner's civil function, DA has criminal jurisdiction.
But for 105 years, not okay.
Go ahead.
It's wrong. Again, if I'm the prosecutor, I should be on the scene investigating. I shouldn't be the guy that's there looking at it. You have to keep. Again, it's not saying it's right for 105 years. Just saying, if I'm the guy that's prosecuting this, I should be on the scene in the corner.
I want to see what conflicts, the cases there was a conflict in, and that a defense attorney brought up that there was a conflict, and he won the case, that there was a conflict there.
I'm going to tell you right now, Oswego County changed a lot in the last 5 years, including the amount of shootings and homicides we've had in the city of Oswego versus the 20 years that I worked. Things are changing. The amount of work the police got to do is rapidly changing. Yeah. It's good though. Whether it's the Ricky Cologne or the shooting down on 10th Street, somebody is going to bring it up, and then you're going to let somebody walk. It's something that shouldn't be walking.
I understand that, but that's the job he applied for. He got elected. The job and everything that goes with it. No, it has to do with the DA job, okay? And part of the DA job was come on, okay? In there, and listening to what you can do as the DA. Signed up for it. That's the job you're supposed to do. I'm not going to be in favor of this. I checked this, I checked with the state to see what, I read the state laws. I see what it says that, yes, They're looking to change it. On the floor, it's the second time. The first time it didn't go through. Okay, now this is the second time it's being put forward. I believe by this same, by Will and by Senate. So I'm not in favor of it. I won't be voting for it on the floor because I can't see that it's a conflict. Okay, it's just creating another position. Okay, within a Oswego County. We have so many assistant, deputy coroners that the DA not necessarily there when they're called in. I won't be, and I don't know where you'll go along with it or not. I'm not in favor of it. I hear what you're saying, okay? The point is that the DA is there, okay? That's part of the job. We're all not in favor of more government. Go ahead.
I just was curious, when you did your research, did you speak with the DA?
Did I speak with our DA? No, he's the one that doesn't want it.
Okay, well, that would make sense though, with it.
No, because right?
Separation of powers is a good thing in my opinion. So people in favor.
No, it's always a good thing when somebody wants to create more, more government. Not a good thing in the private sector.
Things are fluid and they change. We gotta change them.
105 years we've done it. Right? And I know we're only
Pretty sure when the bill was drafted last time and put in front of the state legislature, there was either an attorney general opinion on it that supported this bill 110% and said it was a conflict. So I'm just saying the state is in favor of this because I do research on a lot of bills.
but it didn't go through. Well, still is. Still is right now.
Mr. Ryan's back and it's on confident.
Okay.
No, I just want to see it move and get through.
We have a first and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Next up, resolution resolution to Soldiers Work, so PRPA funds previously approved by this body. Your authorization, first, part of law enforcement. Okay, and their exodus, $2,265,000. Primary, that's for budget. CC Technologies, signing this and it has $1,397,490 to use the fire contract with the ECC contract.
Basically, Empire has a list of tasks that they don't have time to complete. So this is not new money that's being allocated or anything, it's just money that's already been allocated to Empire. ECC is going to do those tasks for them and be paid the money that was issued to Empire. So it's just a transfer from one to the other. It's not any new money or anything. It's we got to get this project done, and ECC can do it, and Empire's not sure if they can do it on time. So that's really all that this is.
I was just gonna ask, I guess, are they a subcontractor? Under the umbrella?
ECC is the project manager, and they're doing some network design, strand maps, and things like that. Empire is the primary internet service provider who is in charge of construction and also some different network design aspects, hut construction, and pop electronics, and things like that. They're both like subcontractors under the broadband project.
They're separate.
Yeah, they're separate, yeah.
We're directly contracted with both of those vendors.
Yeah.
First. All good?
Aye.
Yep, it's got money, thank you.
Okay.
Next up, we have committee reviews.
Is an error, it's just reporting.
You want me to report that? No, I have not for you to review.
Okay, we're all set.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you a little update. Our March 2025 compared to our March 2024 DMV transactions, we're up about 1,000 transactions. A good chunk of those are real ID that's coming in right now. So if you do not have a real ID and driver's license, make sure you get to the DMV before May 7th. Otherwise, you'll not be allowed on a plane. You will not be allowed in a federal building. One thing on that, if your license says enhanced driver's license, you have the real ID. We have a lot of people that are waiting in line for no reason. So please, if anybody asks you, an enhanced driver's license is a real ID. I tried to make it really clear in the press that I put out, but it doesn't always get through and not everybody sees the press. The other thing is, if you have a passport, that'll cover you if you don't get the real ID. I believe TSA at the Syracuse airport has been telling people they can't use their passport as their real identification when they go through, which is totally bogus. So, you can, and it's the only airport we're getting it from. Rochester, Buffalo, Albany, none of them are saying it, but Syracuse has been, a few TSA agents have. So, if you don't want to get a real ID or you just can't get in, a passport will be sufficient. But I highly recommend you get in and get either the real ID or the driver's license. And our numbers are up. One thing I will say on the commission, our next meeting is April 14th at the Record Center. We have started drafting a couple ideas for the logo, if you will, for the commission. I'll pass them around. There hasn't been a decision that has been made yet, and you'll see we've tried to incorporate both United States flag, the British flag, and of course the flag of our Native Americans in there as well, along with a picture of the fort, because that's really what played a role in our revolution up here. Outside of that, the clerk's office, we're in the process right now. I know this building went through a server changeover. I had them hold off on my department just because it's pretty intense what we have to do. So we're going to plan a day when we can work on them over the weekend, and then Monday we can be in early to make sure that it's kind of flawless. But as anything with technology goes, I always prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Well, unfortunately, hopefully not have any problems. If we do, other than that, are there any questions?
Thank you. Next up, we have GP division.
Yeah, I'm just going to give a couple quick ones. The Mark Lombardo was hired as effectively as of today. Mark will be working directly with our offices, with myself, work with some of our infrastructure-related updates throughout the county. So I want to give that quick update on that as far as wastewater goes. Then I'll get the broadband updates that are doing amazing. That you
I like it with broadband. Most of our full application agreements are finalized or in the process of being finalized. The broadband project's moving forward as it should.
I have a quick question. For the broadband, do we have like, who's going to be following the timeline, making sure we're
So ECC is the project manager, and we have a specific, Mark Meyerhofer is from ECC. There's a very large tracking sheet that we have calls every Wednesday with the state. We go through the tracking sheet, hundreds of bullet points on there. Where are we, how far, full application, build outs, like all different kinds of things. So us and ECC and Empire all together collectively with the state. So there's a lot of people.
The state's been a crucial part too, because a lot of the issues that we have, especially if you think about pole attachments, if you're ever trying to attach anything to a pole, but you've got to talk to the owner, anybody else is on the pole, it's a whole mess. So thankfully the state has been very active in helping us get through the red tape. They're on every call.
It's been going fine, no issues so far?
No, like real issues. Contract negotiations and things like that. And,
having those telcos and stuff start to approve the poll applications that we send in, that's going to be the longest lead time. But we've had pretty good success working with them. And they've agreed to allow us to submit more than they were initially going to, just because how large our project is and it has to be done by next December. So yeah, it's moving along pretty good.
Thank you. Next up, we have real property.
So our tax map gets filed effective March 1st every year, where all the new parcel changes are published on our online maps and on our paper maps and everything tax map related. We've held off on it this year because we're doing it's been a few years since we've done a review of all of the parcels to make sure that there's a one-to-one match between what's on the assessment roll versus what's on the map. We've identified close to 100 errors that have been fixed over these last couple of weeks, and today's our target to actually publish the change. Because the idea is that you should be able to click anywhere on the map and see who the owner is of a property, and if there's not a match, then you don't get any information. So it was an important project that Zach downstairs has been begrudgingly going through. So hopefully that gets published today. That's our big update.
Next up, we have public fund.
Thank you. Two things we're working on right now. One is transition into our new space. We're in, it's fantastic, but we're need some furniture. Working on that. We have a conference room with no table or chairs, so it doesn't do much good that way. But it's turned out great. I would encourage anyone to go over and take a look if you haven't seen it yet. So we're working on that. The other thing is we're working on recruiting, working on that hard. We hired one summer intern. We have a letter from another summer intern. We interviewed one third-year law student for a position as a law school grad, and then when they pass the bar, transition into top attorney. We have 4 more letters out to the third-year students requesting an interview with myself and senior staff. Those are our 2 big projects right now.
Questions? Next up, we have site council.
Just got done with reporting season, so we had to submit 3 major reports to the state. The gist of the reports is the state wants to know how the money that they're supplying the planning council with is being spent. So it's a lot of data collection and reporting back to the state. One of my major focuses this year, I've stated this previously, is lowering the legal fee budget line. I know nobody was happy with how much the city council spent on legal fees last year. So Brad and I are working together to develop a transition plan to kind of offload more assigned counsel cases to the public defender. I think one major issue with that, as Brad touched on, is he has to recruit more attorneys to do that. So we're trying to come up with some feasible plans to offload as much as we can in time. We do have a major meeting with ILS. There's some county stakeholders who are invited to the meeting, and that takes place next week. The gist of that is Oswego County was awarded a little bit more money for the Earl Hearing Grant, and I believe we're going to be negotiating how that money is distributed between assigned counsel and the public defender's office.
So you emailed me that you were worried about the legal fees line. Would it be possible to use this extra oral hearing towards?
You can certainly ask the state that. In the past, I'm sure you've heard it a million times, they supplement funds, they don't supplant funds. So they traditionally frown upon just supplying it to a legal fee. They usually want it tied to something typically related to quality improvement. So the use of experts and whatnot. that would not help assigned counsel. We have quite a large number of grants funding experts that we just don't use. So I think in my discussions with ILS, they've talked about supplying the public defender office with more attorney fee lines, basically funding the public defender at a higher rate to kind of get them going more, and then offloading things from assigned counsel to the public defender. That's great, but in the meantime, we're still spending a lot of money on assigned counsel. So I would like to see something happen short-term versus long-term. Long-term is great. I think we all want the public defender's office to be successful. I'm fully supportive of it. But in the meantime, I don't want the county just spending millions of dollars on assigned counsel fees.
Just a quick question, I don't know if you guys can answer, either of you can answer this or not. At what point does a client, is a client told we're done trying to help you find a counsel, then you're on your own? I mean, no. I mean, is there, maybe I shouldn't be asking that question, I don't know, but.
That's up to the court.
It's up to the court?
It is.
The court assigns, we do not assign ourselves, we are in charge of that, with the exception of, once the assigned counsel program is assigned, Rachel has a little bit of latitude as far as her attorneys, but even then, if a judge specifically assigns an attorney from the ACP program, that's it. My office, we obviously have multiple attorneys who can cover any given case, but if the conflict develops with my office, with one of the attorneys, it is shared by the whole office. So it's not like if they don't like one, if they just don't like one attorney, we can try and swap out attorneys, do something of that nature. But as far as saying, okay, you're done, you're going to have to do this on your own or hire an attorney, that's up.
An individual is absolutely entitled to have an attorney assigned to represent them. They are not entitled to have an attorney of their choosing. If you want to choose your own attorney to represent you, you need to pay for that. The assigned counsel program is here. We have a panel of attorneys who are qualified to handle representation. We have gone through very many, and if they simply do not like that, then they need to use their own funds to hire an attorney.
Thank you. They're just there for your delay.
Who wants to stay? Our favor? Yeah.
Hey.